two, one, 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 two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Say it again. Oh yeah, sure, that's cool. I think I need to. Mine is the an adapter. Yeah, type shit. That's cool. A clicker. Does it have a laser? Ooh, a laser. It's next level. Preach. Will it be compatible with Canva? Will the clicker be compatible with Canva? Because I'm using Canva for the.
I think it should.
Okay.
Just try it out real quick.
Cool. Let's see. Press any key. Press the key immediately to shift keys to the left. Shift. What should I hit? Identifying keyboard. Let's see.
I started 5 years ago as a college student playing football.
All right. There's TV.
Present.
I started. I started 5 years ago as a college student playing.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not working.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
Maybe just. Sorry.
Maybe
You're
just
good. Yeah,
unplug.
you can fiddle with it.
Okay.
Start recording. There we go.
All right.
Perfect. You don't have to. Okay, cool. Ready? Good to go? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name's Ike, but my name's Ogwuegbu, but you can call me Ike for short. I went here from 2016 to 2019. I played football here as well. I didn't get a chance to be a part of the startup shell or anything else really because I was playing football primarily, but I would have loved to be a part of something like this where you guys can kind of come together, build camaraderie, and just do cool, can I cuss here? Do cool shit, you know, which is really cool. When Angelique reached out to me and was like, hey, you should come and talk about some storytelling and some marketing and stuff, I thought that would be really cool. But then I kind of thought about what would be beneficial, the most beneficial to you guys, and what are some tangible things that you guys could take away from me talking, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are working on like AI and tech related stuff, and like how many of you guys want to start a clothing brand realistically? You do? Okay, we'll talk later then. But the majority of you guys don't want to start a clothing brand, so I'm going to give you guys information that I wish that I kind of had when I was here at the University of Maryland and just in life in general, because you know I've lived a couple more years than you guys, and I've been in the same shoes that you guys are in, so I kind of have a different perspective than you guys are in right now. So I'll give you a quick little video. It's an ad that we run just to give you a synopsis of kind of what the brand is about, and then we'll dive into the good stuff. Present.
I started 5 years ago as a college student playing football at the University of Maryland. I was inspired by the founder of Under Armour, Kevin Plank. After a long day of practice one day, he came and spoke to my team. He pointed at the seat right in front of me and he said, you see these seats? 20 years ago, I was doing the exact same thing that you were doing right now. I am no different from you. And that lit that fire inside of me. On that day, I decided that I would create a brand that prioritized what mattered most to me. And that is having a positive impact on the lives of every single person that I come across. When you wear Vans, it's more than just cool clothing. It's a commitment to being the best version of yourself, and by doing so, having positive impacts on your community and ultimately the world. They is the only way. Shop now at Apparel.com.
Bet on yourself. Be relentless with your dreams. You and you alone know what you're capable of doing.
Fun fact, this video got me a cease and desist from Under Armour. So, yeah. So yeah, pretty much I started the brand when I was a sophomore at the university. I was playing football. One of our camps, Kevin Plank comes up and watches us play all the time just because he's a former student athlete here. He went here and he loves the school. And he had a talk with us one time where he was pretty much saying like, hey, 20 years ago, I was in the same seats at the same school playing the same sport. And that's when a light bulb kind of flicked on in my head. And I was like, he's really not any different from me. And the worst thing someone can do is make me realize that like, okay, if this person is from the same place or from the same background, like I can be better than them because I'm a very competitive person. So when I saw Kevin Plank and I was like, everybody on this campus wears Under Armour. It's a $1 billion company. Kevin Plank is personally rich. I knew that if I put the work with my tenacity, my connections, and the things that I have energy towards, I knew that I could be better than Under Armour. So on that day, I set out to build a brand. The reason that it's called VEI is because I was in CLAS 170 here at the university, and I was studying we had like an exam or something that I was studying. I saw the name VEII and it kind of stuck out to me, and it's a 4-letter word similar to Nike. So I researched it and it had a very rich history and it was a prominent city at its respective time. So I was like, this is a cool name that I could kind of attribute, and the past success of this city I could attribute to the future success of my brand. And it sounds cool. So that's the reason the name of the brand is VEI. So that doesn't really matter though. I wanted to talk about the subtle art of being cool, because when I was in school, a lot of the decisions that I made were based on, like maybe what other people thought about me, what my parents wanted for me, and not a lot of it was based on like really what I wanted to do. Once I started building my business and getting into like the adult world, I started to realize really just being cool for yourself and defining what that means for you is the best way to succeed. If you think about the people that you think are cool, they're usually successful people, or they're people that are doing things that you want to do or in positions that you eventually want to be in. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the subtle art of being cool. So for me personally, my biggest fear in life is sitting in my deathbed and thinking like, damn, like I lived a pretty lame life. Pretty much like the usual context of most people's lives is you're born, you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you work until you're like 65, 70, you get like a little pension or retirement, and then you enjoy that small, minute time before you're gone. And I personally don't want to live an ordinary life. I want to take risks. I want to do things that are interesting to me, and being cool to me is living the life that I want. It might not be conventional. It might not be what society tells me to do. It might not be what my parents want me to do, but being cool to me is sitting in my bed when I'm 105, 100, whatever age, and thinking like, I did everything that I wanted to do and I don't have any regret. And Jeff Bezos actually has a really good framework that he uses. It's called the regret minimalization framework. Let me go back. And pretty much what it is a yes or no question. And you ask yourself, you fast forward 80 years in the future, and you ask yourself, if I do this, will I have regretted not doing this, or will I have regretted doing this? And if the answer is yes, you need to do it. If the answer is no, then you don't need to do it. So with all the decisions that I make with my life, with my business, with my friends and family, I always ask myself, like in 80 years when I'm sitting in my deathbed, will I have regretted not doing this or doing this? And that's the basis for everything that I do. So with y'all being in school, a lot of you guys are very focused on school, which is super important. But what is one thing that I realized is like, the big majority of your resume doesn't really matter. When I talk to employers and other people, what they really care about is what makes you guys unique, because you guys are in startup shell, so you are all very similarly minded, good grades, probably all taking CS classes or programming, different things like that. That's cool, but everybody else is doing that, everybody else is doing it. All of you took the same classes, you're all going to the University of Maryland, and you all have relatively the same GPA range. The things that you do for fun, the projects, and the hard things that you try in life are what make you different and what make you unique. When I reach out to certain people that are millionaires and billionaires, they don't really care that I went to the University of Maryland. They don't care what my major is. They want to know what's the cool thing that I'm doing, or what are some things that they see that are inspirational for inside of me that they have seen in themselves. So I would just prioritize the activities, whether you're a professional tap dancer or you're building some really cool, weird gadget that nobody else understands. Or for me, it was like starting my clothing brand. When I started it, my teammates were making fun of me. They called me the legging man. You know, they were like, what are you doing? Like, they was all focused on practice and going to parties and having fun. And I wanted to start a business. So I would say what really matters is the activities, the skills that you build, and the hobbies and interests that you gain. I made these slides like an hour ago, so bear with me. Boom. And it's okay to fail with those hobbies and those activities that you do, because we're blessed to all be in America. In America, it doesn't really matter if you fail. And two, you get more credit in America for trying something great and failing than simply just doing the mundane, ordinary stuff that's not too ambitious. So like, you're advantaged as opposed to being somewhere else, like another country where if you fail, you're set back for years. Like when you fail, like America's a place where like people want you to fail fast. They want to hear about the big things that you tried and the audacious things that you tried, because like a failure isn't necessarily like you're sitting in a hole or a pit. An L is a lesson for a future success. So like a lot of the founders and the people that we look up to that have big companies that we want to be like and that we aspire to be like, they've failed a lot of times. Like Apple was close to bankruptcy before. Amazon, there's like quarterly reports where Jeff Bezos was like, hey, we're losing a lot of money, but just like stay true and like understand that I have a vision for what I'm doing. So it's okay to fail. And what matters most is that you do cool stuff with cool people, and by osmosis, you will become cool. The people that you hang around will definitely dictate who you become. There's a reason that people go to Hollywood when they want to be movie stars. There's a reason that people go to Wall Street in New York City when they want to get into finance. What's another place? Whenever someone starts a tech company, where do they go? Silicon Valley, right? Because by being around those people, you hear whispers. You're at the coffee shop. You're in an environment where everybody else is. So you just kind of soak up all of the lessons and the things that they have to offer. So fail fast, do the things that you want to do, and don't be afraid to fail. What's the next slide? Okay, so failing fast, I'll tell you why starting an apparel business is a terrible idea, the business that I'm in. So say that you're making $100,000 in gross profit. $40,000 of that is gonna be your cost of goods sold, which is pretty much the clothing that you are gonna sell, right? Then you're left with 60K. Then you pay 30K for marketing, running Facebook ads, Google ads, anything, getting your product out there so people can see it and buy it. You're left with 30K. Then you have your OpEx, your operational expenses is like paying somebody, having different people like do things within your business, just like the things that it costs to run your business. You're left with 20K. It's not a lot of money. Then you have $6,000 to taxes, which you're left with 14K. And then finally, you have your processing, and then you have to account for the returns that you're making. So you bringing in 100K in gross, but you're getting 10K in net. And a lot of people would ask like, why the hell would you want to do an apparel business? Like on paper, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It's kind of like a dumb business to start. So a lot of people ask me like, why would you start Vay? Oop, let me go back again. Because I'm an idiot. This is my warehouse where I hold my inventory, but it's also where I stay. So like I'm full-time on my business. And as you see, that 10K in a year from 100K isn't a lot to live on. So what I decided to do was just go full founder mode, and I live in my warehouse. So like I wake up, my bed is right here. I'll brush my teeth in the bathroom. I'll go to the gym and I'll work out, and then I'll shower at the gym, and I'll come back and I'll keep working on my business. And it's because I genuinely love what I do. And because being cool to me isn't like having a job. I see my peers, they like are buying houses, having kids, and starting families. Like if I did that shit, I'd be kind of miserable. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like that's not what being cool is to me. That's not what an ideal life is to me. Like I wanna, even if I fail, I wanna go out doing exactly what I wanted to do. So you have to really define the life that you wanna live, because that will guide the direction that you go. And it'll allow you to do stuff like this that's pretty shitty from the outside looking in. But when I wake up in the morning, most days, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm ready to hustle and I'm ready to get it, because like I'm working for myself and I'm building something for myself and not necessarily living for somebody else's approval. Oop. So one of the reasons why I have an apparel business is because I seen the juxtaposition between me and Kevin Plank. Me, a 26-year-old former college graduate entrepreneur. Kevin Plank, he's the 10th richest person in Maryland. He's a billionaire, self-made, started a company, played at the same school, same background. Only thing that's different is the color of our skin, really. So like, I love the competition, and I see how I can compete with Kevin Plank. And like, there's not a lot of things there's certain disparities that would allow him to have an advantage over me, but like, he's not much different from me. So that's one of the reasons, right? Oop. The second reason is cool people like cool people. And a cool person is someone who does cool stuff and gains cool experiences. So these are some of the founders that I'll email. I'll just find their email online and I'll reach out to them and I'll tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing. So Cotopaxi, is anyone familiar with Cotopaxi? It's a really big like book bag brand. Think of like a Patagonia. Dave Smith, he's a really cool dude. He says, rooting for your success, Ikechukwu. Thank you for the note. The founder of Squarespace who went here, he's a billionaire too. He says, hey, really appreciate the kind words and thank you. You got to kind of stroke their ego when you email them. You're like, hey, you inspired me so much. Thank you for this. Ann Malholm, she's the founder of Solidcore. She sold the business for like 300 million, so she's very wealthy as well. She said, hey, this is great. Thanks for the message. If I can be helpful, let me know. And she literally sent me her phone number. I had to blur it out, but like she sent me her phone number. If I had a regular ass job and I was emailing her like, hey, Ann, I work at, the post office, or I work at in an office, she would not respond to me. But the fact that like she sees what I'm doing and she sees that I'm like almost a younger version of herself, because you kind of have to be kind of crazy to be a founder and to have a startup, because like statistics say that all the ideas that we have, all of your ideas are going to fail statistically, right? But like you really have to believe that what you're doing is worthwhile and that you have an opportunity to be that 1% of people. And that's why being a founder is kind of crazy, but it's fun too. And this is Tope Awatona. He's the founder of Calendly. He said, it's nice to meet you. Your note made my day and your story inspires me to push harder. Thank you very much for sharing. Tope is the richest Nigerian man in the United States. He's a billionaire and he's telling me, who lives in a studio, brushes his teeth at the gym, showers at the gym, that I'm inspiring him to push harder. So like, you define what you do that's cool, and cool people want to be around other cool people. So like by doing what you really want, the energy that you put into that will show, and like people will see the passion and charisma that you have behind the work that you do. And then that you'll never not have a job, because even if your startup fails, you could always start another one, and all it takes is one idea to pop off. And any of these one people that I email, if I tell them like, hey, I want to work for you, or hey, like, do you have an opportunity for me? These are all connections that I could reach out to, and individually they see the tenacity that I have, and these are people that want me to work on their teams. And the last one is my brand has allowed me to do so much cool stuff. So my best friend, he plays for the Buffalo Bills. He's one of the running backs, and like, you want to do life, take the people that you love and do life with them. So my best friend plays for the Bills. We played at Maryland together. When I started my brand, he was one of my first models. He was a first supporter. And now I'm able to have a collection with him that he is sharing with his teammates, and is at a national scale where people are seeing our brand. I was able to sponsor my high school, Northwestern High School, that isn't far from here, and make uniforms for the wrestling team. We were able to sponsor children in Uganda that are orphans, that don't have opportunities or resources or any sort of thing. And like one day I was just on Instagram and I saw them doing really cool, like crazy acrobatics on a landfill. And I was like, I just need to know these kids. And I found out their story, raised money for them, and through my brand, using my brand as a vehicle, I was able to highlight their story, provide them with uniforms, and put kids in school. And then lastly, I'm able to like just see my brand permeate the market. We're at like 7 of the Ghost Gyms here in Maryland, and then we're expanding from there. So these are the reasons. Just playing my game and playing it to win is why I decided to start a brand. Oh, and then thank you for coming. And then the last one I wanted to talk to you guys about, there's a concept called Ikigai, which is pretty much a Japanese concept where it defines who you are and what you do, and it gives you kind of a purpose behind the work that you do. So there's 4 different categories, and there's intersectionality between them. So you take what you love, you take your strengths, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs, and then from there you'll find your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. So like, I think 2-3 years ago, I really sat down and identified the things that I like and like try to fill each gap. You don't have to do it all at once, but like it made me realize like I love storytelling. I love telling other people things that I've experienced and being vulnerable and being open and like being a positive impact to other people, as well as like I just love business and I love hustling. Since I was a kid, I was selling honey buns, and then when I got to college, I sold things that I probably can't even talk about realistically. So like you really have to figure out who you are, and then from there your purpose will be driven, and the work that you do will have even more of an impact on the world. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for having me. If you guys, appreciate you. Thank you. If you guys have any questions relating business or anything in general, let me know, and I can rattle off some answers for you. Anybody? Yeah, go for it.
What was that like? I mean, since you're dealing with like a physical product,
yeah.
What's the initial like bootstrapping like where's the?
Okay, so I started in 2019. we got like a refund check or something like that. So like maybe like 4 bands, we got a refund check of that. And I had a house like right on Berwyn Road past the varsity. So like I could watch dogs on Rover. So I made like maybe 2-3 bands from Rover and then another 5 from my refund check. I took that money, and then there was a place called what was it called? Milk Boy Art House, right? That closed down, and they were a new bar. And I left Maryland in 2019 because I wanted to go to a new school called Wagner College to finish playing football and stuff like that, because they weren't giving me like the playtime that I wanted. So I was like, all right, bet. If I'm leaving Maryland this semester, I could throw a party after the spring game, make a lot more money, put that back in the pot, and then build a brand. So I marketed the party as like first day out. I did a photo shoot with like a inmate jumpsuit, and like everybody on campus came to the party. I think I made like $10,000 in profit, and then I took that money and then I started buying leggings and clothes and then kind of building it from there. So I really bootstrapped it from the jump. Anybody else? Go for it.
So from where you are now, what's your like growth plan for the next 6
Yeah, honestly, I would say for us, our best customer acquisition channel has been Facebook ads, because that ad that you saw specifically, that founder story, it hit so hard when we put it on Facebook and Instagram. So like it'll pull in people that like Under Armour, it'll pull in a lot of like the Maryland alumni and stuff like that. So like bringing our cost per acquisition down, the cost that what it costs to acquire a customer down, and then also streamlining the cost of goods sold. So bringing down the cost of shipping, bringing down the cost of our products with ordering more, and then bringing more capital into the business so we can kind of like scale and have a forward thinking. Because now it's like I'm just getting month to month trying to just scale the business and grow it. So, but I have like product market fit, because when people buy the product, they really like it. They give me good reviews, and we have a really good community behind the brand. So it's really cool. Yeah. Go for it.
What's the biggest obstacle you have to overcome? Like, would it be like finding a manufacturer? Or like
Yeah. The biggest obstacle I faced within the business, honestly, it's been capital constraints, like just being really creative with how we bring money into the brand, because like you can only grow a brand but so much, and like starting from walking dogs and a financial aid refund to now, like you have to be able to like have enough product and enough working capital to like pay your bills and stuff like that and scale the business. So one of the big mistakes that I made was like from last year to this year, we grew 100%. So, and I'll be transparent with the numbers too. So like, I think last year we made maybe like 100,000 or something like that. And then like, I got really good at ads. That founder's ad started doing really well. Like overnight, we started clearing like maybe 20, 30K a month. And like, I could easily turn our ad spend up and make like 50K to like 100K. But like, if you get 100K of sales, you got to have 100K worth of inventory. And if you got 100K of inventory, then like, you have to be able to move it efficiently. So like right now, the biggest issue for me is just being capitally constrained and like making sure that I can like pay my bills while also keeping the business moving forward, running ads, and then having more inventory for the ads to run properly. So just capital constraints, honestly. And like, what's another big one? It's just like kind of being in a microcosm. That's why this is such a good community, because like all of my peers played football. They're like, they have regular jobs. So like, everybody kind of looks at me like, you keep doing your thing, Ike, like you're killing it, but there's no one that I really have camaraderie with on a day-to-day basis where I'm like, bro, this shit sucks. Like, you going through it too? They're like, yeah. They're like, nah, I'm going to work. Or like, nah, I'm with my kids, you know what I mean? Like, I talk to like my best friend Ty, but he'd be at practice a lot of times. But really having that camaraderie amongst your peers is something else that's been challenging, especially as I kind of keep going into the business and it gets harder and harder. So yeah. Anybody else? Go for it. Yeah. What would I do if I had $1 million? That's a great question. Okay, so if I had $1 million right now, I would buy more inventory. I would pay down some of the debt within the business, like the unadvantageous debt that we have where the interest rates aren't too favorable. And then I would just honestly keep the rest of that working capital within the business so that we can like have a 1-year timeline of like, okay, for the next year, this is what we're gonna be doing. This is how we can bring our costs down, and this is how we can bring our margin up. Because like you saw, most clothing brands only make 10% margin on the $100,000. But what you're banking on is like, unless you want a lifestyle business, what you're banking on is like, okay, we're cash flowing $1 million per month, or we're a $10 million business. And if you have a good brand, then the multiple that you can eventually sell for is pretty advantageous. Or like if you bring, people see how hot your brand is, they'll be like, okay, let me buy 10% equity, or let me buy 20% equity, and then you can take money off of the table type deal. So it's like, you're kind of working for a later payout unless you want like a lifestyle business where you're just like living off of, you're making $1 million in profit, gross profit, and then living off of that 100K in net profit type deal. So one or the other. Any other questions? Yeah, go for it.
I want to know, like, have you done or like do you plan on doing like sponsorships with like influencers to reach a bigger audience or like,
Yeah.
get more customers? Like,
Yeah, so like a lot of athletes and celebrities will reach out to us, but what I really don't like is how gimmicky a lot of other brands are, because with the way that social media is right now, it's so easy to get a lot of eyeballs on your stuff, but like authenticity is the thing that builds longevity. So I kind of study the older brands like the Nikes, Adidas, and Under Armours and see how they like kind of built their brand brick by brick, starting with a really niche audience and then expanding from there. A lot of the brands that I compete with now or that are bigger than me that I would like to model myself after, like the Gymshark, for example. The reason Gymshark is so big is because Instagram became popular in 2010. 2012, Gymshark was founded, and they saw that the undervalued asset was these influencers, people that had big followings. They just wanted apparel, they wanted gear, they wanted to be affiliated. So like they were able to grow their brand to a unicorn status, $1 billion valuation. But like you see the brands that have breeded from that, and like now that interest rates are like kind of high, a lot of these influencers are getting cut from companies because marketing budgets are getting slimmer and slimmer, and you see that like, oh, this person doesn't really like this brand, they were just being paid, or like people are shilling the hell out of different products and services that they don't like, and like it's dwindling their goodwill. So like I really, whenever I work with somebody, they really have to like align with the brand and like our mission and our vision behind what we're doing, because I want to work with them for a long time, as opposed to like I could bring in a NFL athlete and make like 100,000 in like a month, but like it just would, the brand image and what it represents would just kind of be tarnished overnight if like they do something, or like they really, I don't really like this person. So I kind of make sure that anybody that I work with, I would have to be friends with them, or like there's someone that I think is like cool for the most part. So yeah, appreciate you. Any other questions? Go for it.
What is the vision behind some of your designs?
Yeah. Yeah, so I like the lion primarily because I feel like it symbolizes like being dominant and being like an alpha and being a leader. So that's why I chose the lion. A lot of our designs is just stuff that I'll see in the world. I'll kind of like piece together different things that I like, because when I started, I had no formal manufacturing, textile, nothing. I kind of used YouTube University for everything. So I'll be like, I like how this brand has this, I like how this brand has that, and then find intersectionality between the two and like get a lot of samples in, and then kind of iterate on the product from there. So like this is one of our first products that we sold, and like the first sample was terrible, and then I just kept making updates and changes to it, and then it became better over time. And now this is like our best seller. So yeah, that was the process. Any other questions? Go for it.
How was getting samples and communicating with like manufacturers? What's that process like?
I love my Chinese folks, man, but they be giving me headaches sometimes of like talking to my manufacturers. It's like you have to be up late at night because they're 12 hours ahead. So usually I'd be talking to them from about 12 a.m. until 3, and it's just a lot of like communication barriers, and like you have to make sure that you're vetting your manufacturers, because they might be middlemaning you, or like the product that you get, the sizing might be off. Like I've had big bulk orders of like thousands of dollars of products where I got them and like the shorts fit me like tighty whities, and like you just gotta bite it, take it on the chin, and then just keep going. But once you build a really good relationship with the manufacturer, you kind of want to lock in with them and see how they can connect you, because on the other side of it is somebody that's trying to provide for their family and like has a career. So if you see them as a person and not just like, what can you do for me? Give me my shorts, give me my hoodies and stuff, then you'll see the personability of it and really build that relationship with them. Yeah, go for it.
That question, how did you decide to stick with manufacturing? Did you start off initially in the US and then go to China? Or
Yeah. No, I went straight to China with everything. I think YouTube University taught me that Alibaba was a great place to start with manufacturing, and then I kind of saw through like different catalogs products that I liked that manufacturers made, and then I would send them pictures of products that I wanted them to make, and we would kind of storyboard it together on what would be the best option for us, and then from there we just trial and error, like this manufacturer sucks, this manufacturer takes too long, this manufacturer is charging me too much, and then you find like find the one that's just right. Yeah, go for it.
How do you combat manufacturers?
Yeah. Honestly, it's like one of those things where you just got to take it on the chin realistically, because if your design is hot, they're going to find a way to like sell it to somebody else. But it goes kind of back to the origin of like, it doesn't really matter what you sell. It's really what the brand represents to folks. Because like one person's white shirt and another person's white shirt isn't much different. Like this hoodie is a really good quality, but like I'm 100% sure like Kevin could see this on my website and make something like this in 10 seconds. But what matters is when people wear it, they're like, oh, that's Vay. This brand represents this, or like this brand aligns with this, or the founder, he's this person, so I want to support this brand. So it just goes back to like the story that you tell behind everything. So I don't really, I'm not even like product focused in a lot of our stuff. I'm like, what does this represent to people? Because they'll buy anything. If people hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. So you really want to think of like why somebody would want to buy something, as opposed to like, how can we sell this product, get this product off, respectfully. Any other questions? Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.